Like, is anyone seen this? This is beautiful. Also, this is the beluga. But whoa, the planet. There's something nostalgic about this. Reminds me a bit of Halo, but wow, look at that. I clean up the stain here. Anyways, I did it. I freaking did it. I finished Beyond Good Evil. Oh my god, what a good game. What a good story. Oh, look at the colors. It's so nostalgic. No, but seriously, this is my favorite right here. I can't wait for the next one. So good. What's up, guys? Vince right here. And my goodness, I just finished Beyond Good Evil. Short game. And also, what a masterpiece. Especially of its time when it was first released. It is definitely of the time. Now, pretty much, I want to give a little history within me and this game. This actually wasn't the first time I did touch Beyond Good Evil. But the first time I actually played it was during the time when Gametap was around. If you know, you know. And you're probably old if you know. Because during that time was the first experience of what it's like to access all your favorite games on PC on one site. And it was like everything. It was kind of like my first ever experience. It was kind of like just the first experience of emulation, but also the first experience of just like having all the games you ever want in one server. Basically, was my first Game Pass, which I never really had Game Pass. I don't own an Xbox, but if I did, I would actually imagine like, yeah, that's kind of like what it is within Gametap, with the amount of arcades where it's like old school games and newer games and stuff that, just came out. Like Gametap was, well, everything to me, and it sadly was forgotten. But also that I played a bit of it in the beginning, and I think that was it. I didn't really get anywhere after the beginning other than, I didn't really went out of the island. But once I got out the island and, in this open world space, I knew that I was in for a treat. This game was so much fun. And it was kind of like, done in a ways, but there was a part of me where there's stuff that I really do want to see. First off, we really do need a second Beyond and Good Evil, like right now. Like, what's up with that ending? I don't know. But we really need a continuation of just like what it is that happened after like this whole, of Jade saving the world, basically. Like, it pretty much, I don't want to get in spoilers. This is a game that deserves to be played by lots of people. And yes, I basically played it due to the fact that it was, the newer like remastered or remake was released, of its like, I guess 20-year anniversary, which I guess sounds about right. Is it 20 years? Yeah. And pretty much, it was like years ago that, this game was released. You can tell by how the characters move and how the world is built and how, the dialogue and the gameplay. It's definitely a freaking 2000 game. That's for sure. And it shows its age, even though it's remade and remake and all that. But I had to play knowing that I remember this game, and I was saving the moment to actually play it, and also the right moment of actually experiencing the magic of just like what this game really holds, because a lot of people over the years that talked about this game, the same vein about like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, they talk about, Beyond a Good Evil, and, pretty much that first the first like trailer of the Beyond Good Evil 2, which I don't know what happened to it, and I don't know how am I gonna play it once it's released. It's gonna be released in PS5 or probably PC, and I probably need a better PC rig if it does come to PC. But yeah, a lot of people really hyped and talked about it, and I can only imagine the hype for those that actually grew up with Beyond and Good and Evil, because it is a game that, for those, if you know, then you know. I only know a little bit of it because of Gametap, because I only experienced the beginning and that was it. But yeah, the game itself, it was like, I guess, everything that I wanted. I didn't really finish 100% of the game. And sadly, and I have to address this, that you sadly cannot, like, unless you saved, in a particular area, like before you go to space, you have to save you basically have to save date before going up in space, because once you go up to space,
then that's apparently it. You can't go back on Earth to actually do the extra stuff. And so pretty much if it's done, it's done. And I want to do some extra stuff. I want to know what that pro game is, and I want to know like the amount of other things that that I did not actually seen or actually witness when before going up to space, which I wish I learned that. But the thing is that I played this whole game and the idea in the sense of as a person that doesn't know the in and outs, especially how young I was when first playing games around 2000. Like I don't really know the in and outs of just like a lot of games, even though the ones that I played that I truly remember back in 2000s, which was like Sly Cooper and GTA. And this is just one of those games where I don't really know the norms of just like what it's really built, because it almost feels like you kind of really know, and it is an easy game. I feel like there's really no like platforming or rush or anything like that. You kind of just have to know a couple of puzzles here and there. Stealth plays a role in this game, of course, taking pictures and pretty much having trust in your teammates and the story and the dialogue. It's a game that deserves to have its own movie for sure. And from what I witnessed, it deserves more. Like, what is more in the world? What happened in the life after? Because that's what I want to know. Also, can I just say, within my time of shipping characters and stuff like that, I thought Double H and Jade was going to be a thing. I didn't, and I guess that didn't happen. Obviously, they're not a couple and they didn't really go into that. But I thought there was going to be something there in the future, and especially a photo, like in the end, that of them being married. But yeah, that's not it. I guess that's not happening. I don't know. I'm not trying to understand Jade as a character of who she is. I guess I would call her like, a much more hard character, and, with spunk, and also like, with, a cool gothic look or something like that is venturous and likes to take pictures, and also like the, Piggy, I guess, Paige is pretty much just like almost like a father figure to her. And the moment that Paige was like taken, like pretty much, taken away and stuff like that, and there was moments where like, oh man, like they had us really connected to Paige, which does a trick in some of these aspects, but not a whole lot. Where we really do like the idea of like having a game to make you like the pig more than anything is kind of like it's pretty interesting, and it does it well, and especially how it goes on the truth against the government and pretty much that story aspect. There was not a whole lot for Double H. There was not a whole lot for Hans or any of the other characters that I wish that Jade actually interacted with them a bit more, and especially the ones that you're taking pictures for. Like, I wish we know more about, like, like the, what's his name? Cybernetic or whatever. The, Telemundo or whatever his name is, and also a bit more from, the rhinos and Mama Goes. And, that would be nice to actually see, and especially who you're taking pictures for. The either the person that is speaking or the government or whatever. I don't freaking know. Like this nice lady that just pays you because you're taking pictures. I'm like, oh, okay. And, like I wish there was more aspect of, knowing who the characters are in this particular world. But, for a game that is short and also that is like mostly focused on like, protect, saving the kids and protecting the kids. Like, there is a lot of story behind this. Also, just wondering the information of a lot of things, because for a game like this that really like has probably a team that didn't expect an impact of it until now, which, is a common thing for most old games, that basically they don't get the impact until now because of emulation, because of, the nostalgia, the retro, community really falling in love to older things, especially how games are nowadays, how they're overbearing with visual graphics instead, like, certain values of like, is it either valuing gameplay or the story, and there's always a balance of that in a conversation, especially now. But I wish there was a bit more of like what they give in Beyond Good and Evil, and I wish there was another Beyond Good and Evil released during this time. The same thing with Sly Cooper 2 or Jack and Daxter 2. I wish that there probably wasn't any popularity surrounding Beyond Good and Evil when it was first released, and pretty much when first jumping into this game, I already can picture of like from seeing the art from the case, the cover art of what this game is going to be and the imagination it's going to capture. A spacey with, you know, virtual visual colors of black and galactic, you know, green or whatever. And pretty much it just plays those very well of just like what it is. It's just a nice sci-fi game that has you exploring the world, even though it's like in some cases a small package. And I don't know how they do that of just like a short game, but it's an open world as well. It was like, you know, these, I guess it's one of those games that does that pretty well, and you don't see that a lot nowadays. But for this one that I, you know, from what I witnessed, and especially from many parts of like what I loved about the game, character, just its attitude and what it gives. It's just everything. Especially you know, the guy that is like virtually I forget his name. He speaks both Spanish and Jamaican, and he's like the virtual person. Like, you know, that when you scan stuff, like he's the person to talk. And I always question, like, what the heck? First off, he said ciao, and he said a couple words in Spanish, and I'm like, what the heck is that? It's like, what are you, Argentinian or, you know, Filipino? Like, what kind of person that speaks both Latin languages? Like, I don't know. Maybe there are some voice actors that really want to choose Italian, but also choose Spanish. And the person, I guess, is like a black descendants, maybe black or not, but it sort of is like Jade, Telemundo, Ciao Bella, you know. And it's like, what? I don't know. There's certain like a part of this game where I feel like it's taking place in the Caribbean, and also it's like also taking place in space. I was like, what kind of game is that? Was this taking place in Florida? What the heck is this futuristic Florida? What it is going to be in like in the future or something? I don't know. It's definitely not the future because some of the aspects of it being the future is kind of old. It's a very 2000s games for sure. But I enjoyed it either way. I just wish that double H and J was a thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe, you know, Jay doesn't want nobody. Maybe Jade is more of like a tomboy in a sense, but I freaking don't know. There's just like too many mysteries of just like what this game could be and what I could see from it. But other than that, such a good game. And there's a lot of things I could talk about, but I'll just leave it at that. What a good time. I love this game so much. I haven't collected all the pros. I haven't really 100% it the way I wanted to. But I feel like I was satisfied enough with just like what it gives. And I can't 100% now because I'm saved on the space. And the thing is, before you go to space, you really got to finish everything. If you're watching this before, if you haven't played the game. There's ways to play the game. I'm not going to tell you how, but you should definitely play it. One love and a piece. And yeah, this game, 9 out of 10. One love and a piece. God bless.